Event Horizon engulfs him. Oh wow, he even finds Monyet.
Oh my god. That would be great if you could get even more or pick up a rifle at the very least. Look at how he's so careful jump peeking out, but up against Forsaken, of course, it's going to be the tap that finishes him off. I mean, in this round, again, it's just kind of what we saw in the first, right? You know, Paper-X, they can play around the entire map thanks to the utility of something's Yoru. I mean, gate crashing back and forth, they can rotate so easily. Sometimes Genji has to catch up to it.
Good as quick catch, something in the rest of the team. As I mentioned, just playing the opposition lurks, playing with Genji, and one more round. It is very close though. Genji's able to get this 5-6. Could even be a 6-6 if they play their cards right, but with the Reckoning and Dimensional Drift activated, it could be very difficult. But Texture's already pushed up all the way through elbow. They're not going to know about this, but he whips. Thankfully enough, he has Locky right beside him to help him out. Paper-X are dwindling in numbers. He finds something with the Odin. And he brings it right back, 3 versus 3. Plenty of walls, and they calm themselves down to plant the spike even. Not going to happen just yet. Monyet has control of the back of the site here. Ultimate activated right now by Mindfreak. Big flags coming in from Munchkin, so the time for Monyet to make something happen is very minuscule here. 2 versus 1. Charon now backing himself away, gonna double up with his teammate. This is the perfect time for them to try working their magic against the one. What is this TP? You trying to pick up a spike? No, he's just trying to reposition for the fight. Very aggressive from Monyet, but it's not gonna work out.
Nice try, but Munchkin just turns around and says, dude, you thought you could pull off that flank. How many flags did we see in that round? I mean, first of all, we had, Mindfreak holding the angle with the Odin from window, but then afterwards, Munchkin coming back again from the same spot that Texture and Locky approached from. I mean, it's just so confusing that Paper-X, their whole game plan kind of gets thrown off. You can see that what they wanted to do throughout this entire map, truly, was just either going for executes off of Monyet and something, or create a bit of noise, bait out of that utility, and then rotate over thanks to their gate crash. Leave Divine on that lurk. It doesn't always work out if Genji just goes in for, a bit of a flank, a bit of a retake. And that's the thing that you don't really have without like a proper-ish Sentinel. Yes, Divine, you got Viper, that's great, but no traps, no info.
Yeah. And again, it takes them a lot of time to just fiddle with their abilities, right? To throw it into a site. You already see how quickly, and you mentioned this, again, Texture is just that confident, that much of a risk taker that he is willing to see the limits or see the chinks in the armor of the Paper-X setup. But now as we are flipping the sides here, the question comes into play, what is Paper-X going to do on that defending side? Are they going to do something similar to what Talon was doing when they didn't have the Sentinel, where they were just charging out because they can't really anchor the site? Or as you were talking about, are they going to fall back with the Vibe, who's actually doing a heck of a good job on that Viper of his?
That's the craziest thing. I mean, it's the W Gaming squad. We expect them to push out. Now they've got 3 controllers, and Divine's the one doing all the fragging. So, very curious to see how this will play out. I mean, you don't want to die too early on as a Viper either, right? Because then you can't really use your abilities. So, Paper-X has to be a little bit careful, a little bit mindful about how they want to push out if that is their game plan.
Speaking of pushing out, there's like 3 players of Paper-X about to have the welcome party outside A main. Smoke quickly placed there, as well as the Cascade. Shock darts from Mindfreak. Dissuade anybody pushing up onto the Hall's position. The swing outs for Paper-X, like I mentioned, because they don't have that Sentinel, they just have to start peeking and pushing, as well as just getting that contact. Shots through the smoke, able to get Lakia, the push out from Texture, and he finds something. Could get another one. What a play from Texture. Down to 25, but his lethality is still very much felt. Thus settling, numbers favoring Genji, Monyet, as well as Device. Device already coming in for the flank here, and Texture, he's very much unaware of it.
He is holding a bit of an off angle though, so Device can't really just waltz right through that door.
On mid though, that's going to be Monyet by himself. Does have the paranoia. I'm not sure if he actually spotted the other one. Texture, that door closes. The opportunity for Device is not even possible. Dude had the so close yet so far away situation.
He opened the door again.
Okay, so his positioning is already given. He's pushing out, jumping through the smoke smartly to try to get a coax out of everybody. And this is the thing, every single opponent of the Divide right now is low, so his Sheriff has a lot of lethality on it.
completely
Just
different.
one shot to the body.
Like, look here, right? They're not
But look at the
stacking.
positioning.
They're looking to play.
He's so unaware.
For some kills,
And you can
maybe
see that with how he's
scooping
moving
up
up here, that he wants to get close against Charon, but he's so afraid of where Texture actually might be, even thinking it could be mid.
I mean, he's got a bit of time, but Texture is the main one to look out for right now.
They just barely miss each other. Look at Devi.
Get it done.
I think he heard the drop down too. Texture's about to just peek out. The Devi, can he be able to reel it in for the round win? Cool, calm, collected. My man is patient as can be.
What is up, Danger? He's got that Sheriff. It's got the word Danger written all over it, and he just clutches it out for the team. I mean, apart from being, keeping his composure, just knowing, okay, I have a rough idea of where Texture is. As long as I keep my sights right up around door, I should be okay. But the main thing is also knowing that Karen's right around the corner, and he is able to flick back and forth, now catching up to Texture in terms of kills.
He completely turned around W Gaming. It turned into an M. Meditation, you know?
Yo, what, like what, Mario, Wario kind of?
Wah.
What am I?
But I mean, dude is, I used the term yesterday, I think, zen. Very zen with how he approaches these fights. He's not impatient, like you mentioned. He has a lot of time to make use of. Anyways, big contact coming in from this one. Couple of marshals activated. What a risk from Manya just to peek that out. Forsaken, though, dipping his toes as well into the swing game outside of A main.
Snags that ghost.
Manya, I love this. And he actually challenges, but Forsaken drops. This could be bad. If he rechallenges once again, he's the only one holding the site for the moment here. And he has to back away, wait for the reinforcements as Mind Freak and Devi are slowly creeping up back onto A.
Trades the Outlaw for a Bulldog too, just wants additional firepower. We've got a little bit of support from Mind Freak coming through halls just to check. But he's got to be so careful. I mean, Gen G are bunched up together. It's a full squad of classics and marshals. He hears the jump, gets the first shot.
He gets away too. So no trade here for Meteor. Throws out the recon dart for a bit of that safety. And he's home safe. Wait, no. Okay, now he's home safe.
Gen G really just wants to wait for more picks and maybe try to soften up the defenses, try to sneak through. But at this point, only 30 seconds left. They have to hightail it to B, and as long as Meteor can do the same thing that he's doing right now, Gen G might have a better time in this round.
Oh my goodness, Mind Freak couldn't really do anything. And the rest of Gen G gonna be walking up to B.
10 seconds.
It's all up to something. He's got a Guardian. The aim god. Okay, good at the first. Gets the second one instantaneously, but he's dropping in HP and bullets and everything. And it's down once again to Monyet. Oh, was that a tag? It was. Look at how just low both of these players are. Even if Meteor drops down, you can already see Charon waiting patiently in the back of the site. He even finds Monyet trying to reposition, and Gen G somehow makes the thrifty round work.
I'll tell you somehow, it was Meteor. All it took was a Marshal, and this guy's still as lethal as he was last year. Maybe not on the Jet anymore, but as soon as he pushes up halls, look at these picks that he's getting. It might not always be headshots, but just because he plays around the space that way, plays around the obstacles, he keeps himself tucked away, and he's always able to chip away at Paper X bit by bit. That's, you know, something had some nice Guardian kills that was really flashy, really fun to watch, but it's not clean enough for an end round that Paper X was meant to win.
Absolutely. I mean, he just also felt like Paper X was agreeing to the aim duel, and Gen G was coaxing him to do that. There was
You want an aim duel.
exactly lesser risk for Gen G to do that because it was a just marshals, man. They weren't even committing to purchase this, and Forsaken, what was that? Actually gets through the defense, the line of sight. Doesn't even have to trigger the trap here, and does get a one-to-one trade. I mean, I don't know how impactful that is going to be, but still going to show how both teams very much willing to take those off-angle risks to try to get something.
Both of them are in the fight very much so. 7-7 right now, and that's the main thing. You definitely can't underestimate Paper X too much, and I think that's why Gen G are taking things really slow right now. You know, maybe trying to suss out information, but we don't have that much in terms of gathering, right? You got to think about Lakia's guiding light usage. So maybe just executing onto A right now, and it depends on how well Paper X can hold their ground.
What a far smoke from Monyet. Two! Mindfreak's gonna be gifted himself a Bulldog and no one's there to trade it for Gen G. So they get themselves some control, but Karon and Munchkin making quick work of that A site. Gen G find themselves the advantage.
1 point in the lead. It was against pistols, but you gotta admire how they, went in silently. Made sure that they were, going to pre-fire some of these corners. They checked some of it. Although Meteor did die, it was a bit of information that they could use to go up against, Mindfreak up around halls. And relatively clean round for Gen G, and that's what you would have wanted for Paper X in the previous. So, on to the next. Now, Texture's got enough for the Bladestorm, doesn't need to buy up. Gen G's economy starting to flow, Asteroid.
Absolutely. They even have themselves Karon's Cosmic Divide. Wanyat finding Meteor through the push on A main. This is what they want. They want to stop these multiple angles of attack, go for a little bit of coverage, and the flashes is so good that Gen G just have to rub their eyes and wait for the blindness to dissipate. And as it does, Munchkin's by himself, Forsaken devours, and that's going to be a flawless round for Paper X. Chasing him and
Pesan Gripcar hemat sekarang. Sobat hemat buat jalan ke kantor, pergi nongkrong, kemana-mana paling hemat. Mulai 10.000 plus extra cashback.
They do not want to allow flashbacks.
Wow, I mean, that's another one of those things again, because when you think about Paper X, every single one of these guys have the potential to frag out. And Monyet is single-handedly picking duels outside of, A main. He's got support from the team. You've got Forsaken watching mid. And it's just that much more difficult for Gen G to really pull off some of these split pushes that they want to go for. So they have to really rethink the strategies. If this carries on, I could foresee a timeout being called by Solo.
Yeah, just knew he was there.
Both teams have actually used their first timeouts as well in that first half, but it feels like they have a better grasp of what is happening right now. Again, it just goes to show how even it is, that 8-8. How close something is on this mid control. How risky it is too. A stray pop shot, that smoke going, and there's the pop shot. He's actually getting tagged. He might want to get away right now.
Movement though.
But he did give away his teleport on. He does have the dimensional drift, so he can't get away from this without having to use that gate crash. Or because he's in such an off angle and he's that Yoru, he can just do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's gonna gate crash out now. Definitely doing what he wants. I mean, just getting enough information or maybe pulling the attention away from Gen G as they start to go back towards mid. Now the high tide invested. A little bit awkward though with the curve. So Texture has actually made it onto the other side.
A little bit of attention.
Still doing this. Something. Yikes. I mean, shame on me. And then shame on him if he does that again. The wall's dropping down and Forsaken! How he used his teammate as the great bait mate. They thought they wouldn't double up, but he did. He does get some value. 30 seconds left, and Gen G lose all control of that mid push, but they wait to use that neural tap for that information.
Asteroid, we are fishing out here, but it's big information. Now we know Devi is alone and cold on the B side. Maybe we could harpoon him, but he's got 13 seconds left.
Oh, he's just gonna hold by himself.
Wow.
Again, boy's patient, man. He just has to wait for him to peek into his crosshair, and Devi single-handedly holding this. Can he beat down Meteor? No. But because of the recon dart, he's given away his position. Meteor is just having to hold so many angles. The shot guards, Mindfreak, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? Are you a freak? Well, he could definitely be. Paranoia misses Meteor, but know exactly where he is. Down to 14. 3 bullets and a dream. And is this dream going to turn into reality? As Monyet denies. Comes up, man, swings, and does not miss.
Knows he's low, and all he's got to do is to go in for that burst. So very confident, cool enough. He might be the youngest player, but still has enough experience, and that's one of the things that people don't really know. Might have been a global esports last year, but he has been playing throughout Indonesian Valorant for quite a while, and he's always been this talented. And apart from that, also just Devi, we were talking about fishing a little bit. Remember Mika and Victoria were telling us about this as well. Devi fishes in real life. He is patient. and he knows he turns that situation into a 2-on-1 for his team.
He knows that sometimes all he has to do is, again, not do anything. That's already a lot, because the stress on Gen G makes them try to peek out, makes them want to get as much information as they possibly can. Something, he's already nursing himself an operator all above here on Halls, and I really like this because he gets so much information, so much value. His gate crash is about to expire, but it shouldn't matter at the moment as Gen G coming out of elbow.
Cruz is alone. He does.
Yeah, he can always just regroup with his team and other means. The main thing though is for Divide to stay alive right now.
Oof. Well, he can, especially because of those flashes. But the punishes from the Reckoning, as well as the Hunter's Fury, does get the value something. Just jumping in and out with the shorty. Numbers still favoring Gen G. All of them now on the site. What's the damage here? What's the capabilities? Monyet wreaking some havoc outside of Arch, but he's alone. They haven't picked up the spike. He can reposition into this, and he's got everything. Shot and step, paranoia, there's smoke. Gen G realizes, wants to actually double up. They want to use the numbers in their favor. Monyet, did he hit all of them? He did! He repositions! My god, Monyet! He's down to one bullet. He has to change, either reload or change, which he does. And Monyet almost gets it, but Munchkin perseveres and wins. Oh boy, that was close for both.
I mean, just a bit of nerves on stage. It's unfortunate that he ran out of ammo in his magazine right after it, but still, it comes down to it. Munchkin actually lands the flick above Monyet, so it's all of these like really thin margins, and it comes out on top. Sometimes numbers advantage will still prevail, and that's why, you know, it gets so dicey when you're going for these shorty kills. The Reckoning, the Hunter's Fury was awesome, but not the cleanest, you know, fight back against it. You're starting to run low on rounds, right? It's 9-9. Alex calls a timeout, and that's something that we often forget. It's like, it's not just a battle of the teams and the players, it's also a battle of the coaches. And, you know, Alex was talking about it, Solo back in the days, you know, he looks up to him, and he's communicating with his team as well.
It feels like the plan for Paper X for the past couple of rounds right now has just been to disrupt the entry into the site of Gen G, right? And again, it's resulted in more of these riskier plays that might not pan out as much for Paper X. Something like, again, something that plays with an operator, just gets close in with a shorty, can't really threaten, can't really reposition anymore, gets traded out. You were talking about this. And then that leaves them into these kind of clutch situations with Paper X, from the looks of things, don't really want to always put themselves on.
So you always got to be careful. But what is this? Outlaw Marshall by.
I mean,
I don't hate
there's
it.
like 3 players of Gen G that is half shield right now, so
I don't hate it.
yeah. And plus, you know, FYI for people, if you only shoot 1 bullet at the outlaw and reload it, it's faster than, you know, the full reload. So
I don't hate it, but I'm nervous. That's right. Oh boy.
that's a catch from the Governor too. Okay, that's gonna be Forsaken is back. Oh, that's not even him backing away. That's a trade by Meteor, punished by Meteor, straight into the neural theft, and Peekaboo, I see you, whole map exposed.
Just trying to get out of, get as much out of Gen G as possible in this round, right? If any round is the round that we want to bait out those ultimates, bait out those pieces of utility, that's gonna be this one.
Monyet got the Marshall in hand, shooting through the smoke blindly. Wow. Meteor comes in for the pitch. He will get diced. Mindfreak looking a little bit too far away. That's going to leave Ilya by himself. I was about to say Divide, but then he's just by himself right now. Oh, he does not get the shot onto Meteor as well, and he sees position exposed. Gets the heal. This might actually have to be a save from him. Just backs away. Wait.
Yeah. Oh, the counter.
He has a gate crash all the way at the end of Halls. Is he willing? No, probably not.
Yeah, I think it ran out. He's probably opting for the save instead at this point, but still, I mean, definitely trying to get an idea.
Yeah.
So scouting out, you know, what Gen G's early game plan is, right? At least in the first 30 seconds. Sometimes, you know, they're up around elbow, up around mid. But this time you can definitely feel that A presence, and just not too sure how Paper X can really disrupt that. You know, we were talking about it before. That's why you have the Yoru, right? You always want to push up front. You always want to scout and then gate crash back.
Yeah.
But it's still, you know, sometimes just a little bit risky.
I guess the problem for that is because you only have technically the one duelist that can reposition. You can maybe argue that Monyet can also do it as the Omen here. There's not really a lot of options for Paper X to really get out of harm's way without getting punished, even with the smokes, right? So we're kind of seeing the other way of that, which is getting punished by Genji and ultimately giving rounds to Genji. Okay.
Whoa.
Seeker's been activated. Forsaken just charging right in. Divide? Does he even get spotted? No, he doesn't even have to look at his opponents. Cool guys, don't look at snake bite kills. It's not even an explosion, guys. It's a slow burn, a slow, painful poison burn. Also, Divide used on this A side itself. Code making Genji just a tad bit afraid. As it drops, now they know. And they even have, the Viper's Pit to make things a little bit easier as they transition, into this post plan.
And that's it, an uphill battle for Paper X, right? They might be able to surround this Viper's Pit. There is a trip on the other side. Meteor can make use of it. And then you still got to watch out for those players up inside A main. How do you break this?
Monyet, though, he's vertical, dude. He's got the high ground advantage, and he is using that to actually get the one-up. Viper's Pit, use the snake bite to get a little bit of damage. No one's abusing Spike, and Munchkin through the smoke. Oh, this is going horribly wrong for Paper X. Someone's going to have to start defusing it. Someone's going to have to hold him. Munchkin, what can you do? Absolutely everything, as he actually has fought enough time. They die to the event horizon, and that's going to be Genji with 2 rounds advantage, closing up to maybe the map point already in this game.
Just incredible. I mean, the combination of, first of all, the Cosmic Divide to give them that much more space, that much more security, and then the Viper's Pit, and how Munchkin is playing off of it. This is what Genji can do off of a post plant, and it's just that much more difficult. Paper X, although we had Monyet, kind of like you mentioned, Asterai, with the vertical play, trying to break through that Viper's Pit, trying to break through Meteor, it worked out for just a second, and that's why it's just so much that Paper X has to work off, and now it's a 2-round differential. How do you climb up against that? And they have to make it happen if they are to start out strong in VCT Pacific kickoffs this year.
Well, thankfully enough, they do have money, creds, to have the weaponry to make something happen. I will honestly try to find a different word other than something. If you guys can just like DM me a different word I can use so that you guys will not be confused. Anyways, the man himself, Ilya, is there on elbow, nursing himself the operator once again. He is just holding that angle for the absolute longest time. He is hoping that someone is just gonna go into his spider's web, but unfortunately for the moment, Genji, they have their eyes set up here on that A site, and it could actually be good. Monyet's cold in for that one-way smoke that actually drops in and turns into a regular smoke that has a very big partial outside of A main that could actually be bad for Divide. We'll have to see how that works out, and he is trying to clear that with all intentions by himself.
He's got a bit of time.
Oh, he's so alone. Oh, he is so dead. Oh, this is not looking too good for Paper X. Forsaken doing the same thing. No flashes, and he absorbs his opponent right in front of him, gets full flash, but the trades from Paper X are actually working. Shot through mid. Oh! Something gets it! He even finds the lurking meteor. And all of this because of the shock darts coming in from Mind Freak. Lakia will plant the spike. Monyet does not chase for him or tries to punish him. So it's the double up from the both of them. Something coming in from the White Spring, and he's had enough.
And that's a really
something getting the final kill. Mind Freak, you know, there's something getting kills, we've seen that before. Mind Freak with 2 shock dart kills. Not something you see every day, but a welcome sight nonetheless. I mean, just getting the information off of Divide, trying to play around Monyet's dark cover. That one felt really iffy. But look at how Forsaken really comes back in. And after they get that information, just being able to, you know, put out the tire traps. We got those Caltrops, the shock darts. Gen G can't really walk onto site that freely. So Paper X trying to play a little bit more patient this round, especially with something posted up with that operator. That was the cherry on top in this round.
They gotta go for these adaptive risks, I think, because Gen G is so good at just, I don't know if I'm correct with these made-up stats, but they feel like they have the first bloods, you know, very much locked and loaded in this first map. Something at least pads the stats a little bit more in the favor of Paper X with that peak. And that slows down Gen G by a big margin. Not having the flashes anymore from Lakia really hurts the chances here for Texture to get more of these quick contacts into the site. They're pushing at the back of the site right now.
Definitely slows down Gen G. They're always going to be thinking about what's next. But now, Dimensional Drip just to gain further information. 1 minute left on the clock, and Gen G actually going back off of a bit of a default. They want to spread themselves across the entire map. Ooh. Just saw the spike.
Alright. Mr. Risky here. You know, not even...
Dude, they are living dangerously.
Yeah.
Just full on.
One blade storm at a time.
Send it right around that corner.
But it works for them, and right now he's got information if they were to cross in the risky way. Most of them have already bypassed it, so something going to reposition. But what I'm curious about is Karen actually lurking up around mid.
That also, and well, there you go. He finds the one pick onto something here. There's the quick charge out. Hill was actually saved up by Texture, so he has capabilities to enter the site.
Oh,
Forsaken's not going to know about Karen here. Or does he? The Reckoning actually spots him out 14 seconds. Let's see what the battle comes in through the mid. It's going to be Forsaken. Spike, though, should get planted. It's all down to Forsaken for now as he waits for Divide to back the side. Back what Texture? What a reposition! What a challenge! What aim has this top fragging Korean brought to the Gen G roster?
Texture, what a monster! Dude, yesterday, 2 days ago, he already had such an incredible stat line up against his opponent's RRQ. Having those first kills that you mentioned before, he has 16 throughout the entire series. I feel like this one, he got even more. But not just that, the blade storm, the aim off of it, the way that he cut down Divide at his knees, really blocks out Paper X, and now they've earned that match point. And remember, they are still sitting on one timeout.
Bro can see like 2 seconds into the future, man. And in a very quick and fast game like Valorant, that's all we really need. That Cascade was supposed to give some sort of safety, an access point for Paper X to get through on halls, but it turns into a signer for Lakia to, it's kind of obvious. I'm just going to pop shots. What am I going to lose? Absolutely nothing. And he gains the 1 kill for almost everything here. There is no money for Paper X right now. Forsaken. Okay, that's 1. Mifrin's going to have to go big, which he does. Oh, this drone. This drone! Blows up right in his face, dude. It's all down to the buy. He's got a Vandal, but he's so far from the situation on A.
Like those two, look at
I'm running out of words. I would have thought that maybe at least something would have been able to get a trade at least, but wow. Decision making just a little bit off, but then at the same time for Gen G to pick up these frags that quickly. They are looking in new form today. William is definitely chuckling at the desk. Now they are just 1 kill away from pushing us into the next map.
Well, there was a sign on the right that
definitely patting himself on the back with his Gen G inspired outfit.
His nephew, and the sign said, RB's
3
going
versus 1.
to Shanghai.
Divide doesn't even have any smokes to supplement himself. He just has the weapon in the corners. And that spike is just dwindling down ever so closely to exploding. He does find Texture, but